Just perusing 49ers social media, it seems everyone is very excited about Robert Saleh's return. Except me. I mean, it could be worse. We could be Dallas. We could be Dallas on the verge of hiring Brian Schottenheimer, who reminds me of fruitcake. Like when I was a kid, some old lady from church would come by and bring over fruitcake, and I'd be like, what the f***? What the f*** is this? What could possibly make you think I would want fruitcake, dude? That's how I feel about Brian Schottenheimer. So it could be worse. We could be Dallas right now. We could be the Raiders hiring Pete Carroll. Isn't Pete Carroll approaching like Joe Biden's age or Trump's age? We could be hiring Brandon Staley. Thank God he's gone. I keep hearing Brandon Staley's a genius. All I know is Jim Harbaugh turned that team around in one season with the exact same shitty players. So please, stop with the Brandon Staley is a genius. Diamador Lenore, one of my favorite players. Please, stop with the Brian Staley is a genius. Brian Staley's such a genius that he can't even get an interview. That's how much of a genius he is. He can't get interviewed for assistant ball boy. So given the options, I'm fine with Robert Saleh. My concerns are just this. Number one, when has getting back together with your ex ever worked out? When? Has it worked out for you? It's never worked out for me. It didn't work for Kansas City and Gunther Cunningham. It didn't work for the Redskins and Joe Gibbs. It didn't work for Ben Affleck and J-Lo. When has it ever worked, getting back together with your ex? So that's number one. I just don't see a lot of examples of success getting back together with your ex. And number two, I don't want a rah-rah guy.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
I don't want that. I want a smart person. I want a smart, innovative person. I want Vic Fangio. I want Jesse Minter. I want Steve Spagnuolo. Somebody in that vein. I don't want a dumb jock. Our formula is this.
Ugh.
We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
I don't want that, but that's just me. I don't want a dumb jock. Everybody else, yeah, give me rah-rah guy. Give me dumb jock guy. Give me Dan Campbell, who's proven himself to be a buffoon. Okay, well, but here's the thing. It's not like a catastrophe or anything. Everything should be fine. If you just look at the strength of schedule will be easier. The rest disadvantage the 49ers had last season should be more evened out next season, I would expect. And if I know this is asking a lot, but if Jake Moody just improves to not terrible, if he can be just not the worst kicker in the world, the 49ers should be just fine. They would have made the playoffs last season if Jake Moody didn't perform like the worst kicker in the world. They would have won the Arizona game and the 2 Rams games, and they would have been in the playoffs. So if Jake Moody, I know it's asking a lot, but if he can just perform like a 100th round pick, they'll be just fine. If he can perform like a semi-competent kicker, they'll be fine, regardless of who the defensive coordinator is.
What about blue zones? All of these Japanese people keep on living forever.
Yeah.
Why?
So the big myth here with blue zones is there are ultra-specific foods and diets that you eat. They're going to just really radically enhance your longevity, and ultra-specific other foods and diet types that you eat that are just going to croak you out real fast. That's just not it. The other thing about blue zones is tons of the blue zone effect is just straight up genetic in nature.
Have you seen this guy on YouTube? That is blatantly incorrect. Blue zones are largely genetic. We know as Okinawa has increasingly westernized, there has been a corresponding drop in life expectancy. From 1980 to 2020, their life expectancy dropped by 4 years, putting them more or less in line with the rest of Japan and other modern populations. And this phenomenon has occurred in all blue zones that have undergone westernization/modernization. So the notion that the longevity observed in blue zones is largely genetic is clearly false. Also, one of the last true blue zones in the world happens to be in California. A small religious community in California consisting of whites, blacks, and Asians. So no, Dr. Mike Israetel, it's not largely genetic. I don't even, as a doctor, how could you even entertain that thought for more than 5 seconds? He clearly didn't think it through. You could see in his eyes, it's one of those opinions people just blurt out, and they try to justify it intellectually after the fact. But he did not think that one through.